Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Great.
Good.
I always start these off with, where are you at? That seems to be
Yeah. I'm in my let's see, I wonder if I should I might be kind of bouncy here because I realize we're doing video too.
Yeah, I have it as a backup. I don't know if many people really watch this on YouTube, but it's just like,
okay.
Place for this to live. So
okay, yeah, totally. If you can hear me here though, I could just do that and just keep it on this little ottoman thing. I've
had worse with people shooting like this way, and I'm getting all the black bars on the side.
Right. Yeah. I've been checking some of them out. They're cool. Yeah, and my daughter's nursery here because she's busy next door. It's not a big place. We love our little place, but it's small.
Where's home then?
We're in Pawcatuck, Connecticut, just north of Mystic, Connecticut.
Okay.
We're actually on the Pawcatuck River, which divides Connecticut from Rhode Island. So we spend just as much time in Rhode Island as Connecticut.
Oh, wow. That's a whole different part of the world that I'm not too familiar with. I have a daughter who lives in Boston.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's where I went to school. Awesome. Yeah, we're not far. We're like, we're not far from there, like hour 40 or so.
Nice. You went to the Berkeley College of Music.
Yes. Yeah. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed being in Boston. Where are you located?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy coming there.
Yeah. Now, do you tour beyond the New England area? Do you or
basically
local?
Yeah, I mean, we're just about to announce an Eddie's Attic show in Decatur, I think on Thursday. But yeah, we go all over, like especially next year, because we've been so pent up. So I'm like, book everything. I'll play every night, whatever, like we've I think my wife and my daughter tour with me, and I think we're gone. There's a stretch there where we're gone for like about 5 months because we go from like the Midwest to the West Coast, and we're driving just because I haven't done that in 5-6 years. And then we get home and play a couple shows in the Northeast, and then go to Ireland and UK for a month and Europe for a month. So we almost thought about putting our stuff into storage,
Probably pent up, like I have been just stuck in way too long. I need to get out.
Yeah. And just, like I've always enjoyed that touring life, but you try to balance it because I love home too, but you try to balance it. But after the last couple of years, like I feel like going in the other way will balance it.
Oh yeah, it will balance, and then you'll want to be at home quite a bit after that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's so cool. So you be at Eddie's Attic when in the Atlanta area. The Decatur's not far. I've done a lot of stuff at Eddie's Attic.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Eddie's is great. I want to say I don't have the date in front of me. I want to say it's April.
Okay.
I'm doing a co-bill tour with this guy, Bruce Sedano, who a really wonderful songwriter who had, was married to Donna Summer, had some hits with Donna Summer, but also Michael Jackson and all kinds of people, and a really great history with rock and roll. He's in his early 70s, so he's I'm really excited to learn. I learn a lot from him. I love his music too, but
oh gosh, I mean
that'll be fun.
Music history, that's for sure.
And he's got a Wikipedia page, man. That's pretty cool.
I remember Donna Summer very well. Never got to see her live. I saw Michael Jackson live, but yeah, I didn't get
wow.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see MJ.
Yeah, and even though I was like 3 miles away from the stage, I was freezing. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I saw my
Okay.
Jackson's Victory Tour, and wow,
Wow.
freezing. Absolutely
Yeah.
just skinny
Yeah.
little guy moving all over the stage. He was amazing.
He was something else with as far as a performer and just a total package. You
That's
know,
cool.
I
Yeah,
pretty unique talent.
totally. So getting back to you, you have a
Yeah.
great new project out now. So this is exciting. You just released a Christmas album. Did you have this in mind for a long time, or just this just felt right by this season?
Yeah, you know, it was something I wanted to do forever, just like the covers album we're putting out in February. And we're actually we a children's book as well, in that which we're just finishing up, which is coming out in 2023. But all of these things really came about because we had so much time, you know, and we had fans who made these albums happen, who executive produced them and funded them, which I'm just so grateful for because I mean, it was a hard time, and there were definitely, you know, and continue to be, you know, times of uncertainty and moments, but you know, during the darkest days in, you know, in my life, like you know, in our maybe our country's life, at least in last while, at least in my lifetime, you know, I was in my living room singing these beautiful songs, you
Yeah.
know, and I didn't really have a, and they're big albums, you know, the executive producer told me I had to do double albums.
Well, it sounds like something out of the
And,
70s. Like make this double.
yeah, yeah, totally. Like, yeah, the very current double albums are so hip right now, you know?
That's a very niche thing in 2021. 20.
Yeah, yeah. But I was like, man, sure, you know, I'll do as many songs as you want. I mean, like, I've got plenty of time, you know, I love doing it. And, yeah, and him and his wife made these albums possible. And I went out and bought the recording equipment. I had never done that before. Yeah, never recorded myself. And you know, we live in an apartment building. There's people on all sides, above, below, and they complain for sure. But we, you know, that there was that eviction ban in 2020, you know.
Grab the opportunity.
Well, I'm sorry, you know, oh holy night. I'm like, I'm sorry if it's loud. I'm just, you know, I'm doing my best here.
Hey, you're making beautiful music. The end result, I guarantee you, it's going to be great.
Right. I'm working from home. My job's different than yours. I gotta sing. I gotta be singing in here.
Totally. It's all the lockdown. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, and these artists, and I've been saying this with a lot of artists lately, it's been so interesting seeing the legacy artists working through the lockdown. You're looking at Sir Elton John, Sir Paul McCartney, these guys
Mm,
still making music and even in the lockdown. And it's hard. It's got to be tough to
no.
be inspired. And, you know, it's depressing being shut in like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the music can be such a light, you know, like it always has been. And it's just there in a different way now, you know, and but it is interesting, yeah, because I obviously part of us making music, and I never had any desire to really do like an online show. Like if we like went live on Facebook, it was just for fun at a real show. So you know, doing the online shows was, I think, like many artists, was out of just sheer need to survive. And then I came to enjoy them as I got, like, you know, the recording gear, and I was able to have a sound that was inspiring, you know, like a sound quality that was inspiring. um but yeah, to see the guys like Elton and Sir Paul, you know, I mean, they don't need to make that music, you know, so that they don't need it financially, you know, so that
Yeah.
was inspiring to see them continue on, because it's, I guess they never need anything financially right now, but that just shows you they need it in other ways.
Yeah, they could have gotten out of the business probably 30 plus years ago and still been.
Right.
Can't say that about most of us. I wish we could, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's I look at people like that, even though I don't do a lick of music, but I look at people like that. I'm like, they're still working. I could still be working, and they don't
Right.
need to. So that's It's really inspiring. So
It is.
yes, you got 20 songs on this
Yeah, on the Christmas album. Yep.
called Peace. And
Yes.
it's just it sounds amazing. So
Thank you.
how did you come to the song choices? Just some of your favorites growing up all these
Boy.
years?
Yeah, I mean we had hundreds to start. Same as like figuring out the songs for the covers album. And my dad helped me a lot with this one, which was really special. He arranged all of the vocals for me to sing. Like I sang all the harmony parts myself, which I had never done before. And I was worried that was going to sound really lame to have four Jessies there. But I liked it. It was cool. And yeah, so I mean I leaned on my dad, my producer, the executive producers who funded it, my family. My wife is always a great sounding board because she's younger and she's much more like pop culture, than me. So, she knows more about Taylor Swift and stuff than I do, for instance. So it's great to bounce things off of her because she might not know the song, or she might not know the Nat King Cole version. But she's got great ears, and I like great reactions.
Yeah, that's great to have that connection because it's so hard to keep up with. As you know, in the music business, it's constantly changing. So
Yes.
there are names popping up every 5 minutes. Like I haven't heard this one. Yeah, I haven't, Dua Lipa. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I only know because it's Sir Elton. I mean, because he's bringing up all these people. Little Nas X. It's like I never knew
Yeah.
until he brought that up.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track of that.
It's good to have a connection like that. So this is a whole family affair. Now, your dad was in the music business for ages. Is that what is he?
Yeah. So he went to Berkeley as well, graduated from Berkeley. Actually was roommates with the famous John Scofield, and it was in his high school band was also with John Scofield. And yeah, so my dad's done he did everything really. He was an artist and had some number ones in Canada as a country artist. He produced lots of records. I grew up with like a recording studio out in my backyard, like in another building.
Oh wow.
And it was pretty cool. Yeah, he let me go in there, and even before I wanted to do music for a living, he let me go back there and fool around. He did film scoring. He's much more he's not as big a songwriter as I am, but he's much more talented with composition, arranging. He speaks music like a language. He's just
Yeah.
fluent. He picks up the guitar, he plays the piano, he picks up the bass. He's a renaissance man.
Yeah, that's really just a gift.
Yeah,
I don't know if you could really learn that at a place like Berkeley. Only you could probably say that, or you got to have some kind
maybe.
of natural knack for it, I think.
I think you do. There's some people who are just, they're good at everything, and they just understand music, where I never really wanted to understand it at that kind of level where you're, composing for symphonies and stuff. I just wanted to write a great song and sing it great and play it great.
So you're
Um,
more like 50-50. You know how to write good lyrics and you hear the melodies as well. It's
yeah, and I love playing. I mean, it's kind of like McCartney. McCartney never believed in reading music, and actually to the point where he doesn't. There, even though he's a brilliant, brilliant genius musician, he doesn't want to know too much about the notes and how they work together, because some of that thing for him was not knowing what he was supposed to do.
yeah, I can
and
see that. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's part of why he did so many cool things, where real nerdy musicians are like, wow, I can't believe Paul went to that chord there, and it's just because Paul wanted to go there. He didn't know, which is great. I think that's really great.
Yeah, a lot of that is very impromptu and just a lot of riffing and experimenting and not having those constructs, having that ceiling, which is
Yeah,
probably, if
yeah,
you're a music nerd and you're just reading notes, yeah, you're
yeah.
stuck to that and you're limiting yourself. It sounds like it would be
In
like,
some ways, yeah, I think it's different for everyone, I think, but yeah, for me, I love all that music. I love classical music, but that was a difficult part music school for me, because there are real rules in classical music, and you can do so many things with it, but there are rules.
Yeah, I can imagine. So when did you go to Berkeley?
2000 to 2004.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other big names around that point when you were coming up through there, or before?
I think John Mayer had been before me, and like,
On here, yeah.
went for a semester, and they pretty much said, hey, you either can teach here or go out and, do your thing. He was that good at his instrument and everything. There were some other people, like Esperanza Spalding was
Yeah,
there.
what a great art. Definitely.
Yeah, there was a bunch of other people. I was just watching something on Masterclass, and Saint Vincent, I believe, was there.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that? It's
It
just
was,
like,
I mean, that was just Annie, but it took me a second to connect the two
yeah, yeah.
and be like, oh, that was Annie.
I had Blue House, he was on my podcast, went to Berkeley, and Billy Joel's music director went to Berkeley.
Oh, cool.
Dave Rosenthal, who's just
Right.
keyboards at the
Yeah.
really, really good guy. Met him a long time ago. It's just
Awesome.
yeah, what a good school. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it just totally preps you for the world completely.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to be around people kind of that eat, sleep, and breathe music and art and creating. It's good to be around that many manic people and to understand, understand how it all works and get to know them. And Nashville was much of the same. You're living in a place where your mechanic probably writes songs and has guitars on the wall when you go in the office. So that was another cool experience.
So with this project, more homemade than anything, what was that like, just trying to produce completely on your own? What type of equipment did you have? Just a multi-track recorder? How did that come to be?
Yeah. So my longtime producer, Nielsen Hubbard, helped me as much as he could remotely. And pretty much said, I sent him like test recordings of everything, and
Sure.
I bought this Universal Audio Apollo 4, so it has 4 channels, and amazing, just amazing stuff, amazing reverbs built into there, amazing, like, they've got a virtual Fairchild compressor the Beatles used, and they've got every cool Neve preamp, emulation you'd want. And then I bought these mics that are like modeling mics. They look like big tube mics, but you can turn it into a Neumann U47. You can turn it into a Telefunken. You can turn it into a mic that you'd put on a guitar, and it was just really incredible. I mean, just what these things do. So that was all I had, and Nielsen taught me kind of how to. He's like, just pretty much throw moving blankets anywhere you can, like, drape them over, music stands and mic stands and dressers and everything. So we just built this kind of cave we live in a loft, like a loft apartment. So we just kind of built this vocal cave. Wow. And vocal and guitar cave. And I just recorded these tracks, and luckily Nielsen's mixing, and I had some amazing other players on the album recording from their home studios. But so I just needed to capture the sound. I didn't have to learn how to EQ and mix. And I mean, that's a whole other thing. So getting the sound was, I thought was doable.
Oh, and all that post-production work too. That's a whole science unto itself, I'm sure, like with Pro.
Oh man. Yeah. There's really precise editing, and Nielsen goes in and really he comps my vocals, picks the best take. He even like kind of ducks the breath before I sing something. So that's kind of, sometimes you hit a breath that becomes really loud. There's so much that goes into that you don't realize. And fascinates me really, that he knows where things should sit and can hear that stuff. I can't hear that. I can just hear when an album sounds good.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
have those
yeah,
geniuses on board like that. So
yeah.
really cool. And some of the songs you've done, you have a Joni Mitchell cover on this one. How was that?
Yeah. How was that? What?
How was that chosen? Was that something, one of your favorites?
Oh, just like anytime you can get Joni. Sorry, my daughter's trying to get into the room. She's like, there's like a lot. We have locks on both sides because
I have a
she
cat
just
trying to get in here.
Oh, here she is. Hi, Lily girl. Yeah. She doesn't like being apart from us, and I hope that never changes.
Yeah, before you know it, they grow up and they want to lock themselves in a room, then they want to get out of your house.
Right.
Move to Boston.
Exactly. I did. Exactly. That's exactly what I did. Yeah. But yeah, Joni Mitchell. I mean, I did a Case of You on the Covers album that I'm releasing in February, and I love that River's about her relationship ending with Graham Nash, and her looking out on through these frosted windows at all these people outside, cutting down trees and being merry, and she's miserable. So I love that it's become a Christmas standard. I mean, any way we can sing a Joni Mitchell song is a good thing.
Work that in. It conjures up that winter feeling, definitely.
Yeah. I love that.
You have some good standards on there too. So it's the biggest classics, in which people probably do come to expect as they're getting a Christmas album.
Yeah. I mean, there's such beautiful songs and incredibly challenging songs, really, and incredible chord progressions and melodies, and really challenging to sing the whole, to do the whole thing. But I love that. I love that challenge, and love kind of Googling the songs when I chose them to kind of understand the story behind them. Like a lot of them were written to celebrate like a new organ being built in the 1800s, or an organ, being damaged. Like, what's the one? Was it Silent Night was written, on guitar because the organ in the French town, I forget the French town offhand, but it had river damage. The river flooded the church. So there's these people in the 1800s sitting around with nylon string guitars and candles. It's just a beautiful wild image to think about.
Yeah, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is another classic. I had another artist who's been on my podcast and she did that too, and it's like,
yeah, what a song. Yeah, what a song, and what a great story there too. That song was almost thrown out, and the co-writer brought it back, and then they pitched it to Judy Garland for Meet Me in St. Louis, and she said, well, it's a nice song, but it's dreadfully sad. I can't sing that. So they rewrote it for her. I mean, it's just amazing what the song went through.
Yeah. Anyway, at Christmas time, what was the one Tony Bennett did with Lady Gaga? And they said that was kind of dated, like the guy was coming after the woman. It was misogynistic, and it's it's cold outside. You need to come.
Oh, right. Yeah. That one.
You can't go through any Christmas season without like a war on Christmas or some kind of a controversy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, if you want to be offended, you can just walk outside and get offended. I mean, it's so easy to get offended in life, I think.
That's the way it's been, and especially with the explosion of social media, it's like people want to be offended. They're looking shock and oh my gosh, I'm just like so floored. I can't believe you're saying that. It's got so out of control.
Yeah, I know it's not even like a cancel culture or anything like that. I mean, I don't even get political, but yeah, like you said, like people, there's just that need to be upset rather than to be joyful, and I don't really, I mean, every once in a while there's a reason to be offended, but or up in arms, but usually not.
Sniff it out for the value of it. But this is why Peace, a Christmas collection.
Right.
We could all come together and not be.
That's what I want. That's why I called it peace, because there's been no peace, and and I needed that music. I needed I needed that music really to heal me and to kind of to ease my mind a little bit, because it was it's been such a tumultuous, divisive time, and I don't really fully understand it, because people are lovely, like they just get too wrapped up in things.
Well, hopefully that will help, and people will go on the website and order it. So it's available on your website, jesseterry.com.
Yeah, Jesse Terry Music.
Jesse Terry Music.
JesseTerry.com is another guy, but he's cool. It's a good guy.
He got your domain.
Yeah.
Probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So you have some good guests on this collection as well. Some people on violins and
Dan Dugmore is a legendary player. Toured with Ronstadt for 10 years and James Taylor for 10 years, and just a famous wonderful guy. So he's on some songs, and then my buddy Eamon's on some songs, who's normally, like, that was the cool thing, because people were home, so Eamon normally tours with Emmylou and Rodney Crowell, and he was available, and
oh, that's great.
At doing the stuff from home, and stuff would come flying back to me on Dropbox, and I could dump it into the session and hear these things at home. It was just wonderful. And my buddy Josh Kaler's on there too, playing like five or six. Yeah, he's great. But we did keep it very sparse, and it was partially because of the lockdown. You don't want to send out the tracks to 10 different people, and partially just because of lack of finances. Really, like it would have cost a fortune to send it out to that many people. But I started really loving that. Like, I love there's no upright bass, there's no bass at all. And I really like that about the album, because I haven't found many Christmas albums that are sparse. A lot of them are really sometimes overly done to me.
Yeah. It's
so
nice to do it your way and the way you think they should sound, and not trying to be like all the other Christmas albums out there.
Right. Yeah, we didn't have the choir, we didn't have the big band, but it's nice to hear those songs in their pure form, I think.
Yeah. So which number album is this one for you? You've done quite a little collection there. It's
yeah, I want to say this is 8, and then the covers album is 9.
Why don't more infant formula companies use organic, grass-fed whole milk instead of skim? Why don't more infant formula companies use the latest breast milk science? Why don't more infant formula companies run their own clinical trials? Why don't more infant formula companies use more of the proteins found in breast milk? Why don't more infant formula companies have their own factories instead of outsourcing their manufacturing? We wondered the same thing. So we made ByHeart, an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most superfood on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins actually found in breast milk. We're the first and only US-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We even conducted the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in a quarter century, with clinically proven benefits like easier digestion, less spit up, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. And we make our own formula in the USA and our very own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania. ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
And then,
great.
Yeah, it's really, I can't believe that. And a few EPs as well. So, yeah, I can't believe it.
Some solo artists who, can't work that consistently and have, their catalog. Their catalog could take, 4 decades or so. They're lucky if they come out with a dozen albums.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's been, I've been really lucky to get into the studio pretty often and because of my fans, so I can't wait for the next one. I got to write some more songs, but
That does keep you going. How do you get inspired writing songs? Is it just everyday things? Do you carry a little notepad with you, or you record?
yeah. Yeah. And the iPhone's great. You have to record everything, every great thought or melody that might come into your head, because it'll go, it will go. And but yeah, I mean, I get into like chapters and seasons of writing. Like I haven't been in a season of songwriting for the longest of my career. It's been a couple of years since I've really written regularly. We were just during during lockdown, we were just focusing on surviving and making these albums and looking towards the future and and getting better in so many ways. It was transformational. But I think like getting back to writing will be really great. But I'll get back there and get to really get down to work,
Yeah.
and
Can
that's
you,
what it's
uh, you need like serious concentration when you're writing an album, or is it just you can do it pretty much anywhere?
No, I personally need to concentrate, and I need to, people talk about being inspired and this and that. I get inspired when I work, like, because then even if you sit down and you're not inspired, you might play some melody that opens up the whole world for you.
Yeah.
It's doing that work. And most of the people I know that do this for a living, they approach it like that, and but do all the things necessary to feed that, writing and reading great work, listening to other great work, and that's inspiring.
Yeah, it's really good. I've heard some of your seventh album. That's
Yeah.
got some really cool tracks on there.
Thanks, man.
When We Wander, that's the and what's the story behind that project? Was that
Yeah,
becoming a parent and moving?
yeah. That's what everybody. I didn't know it was until, after you make the album, then people, you hire the bio writer and you have to say, okay, what is this about, and what is significant in your life? And my manager was like, well, clearly it's about you becoming a parent. And I was like, oh yeah, it is. That's such a massive topic. But I didn't know that I was writing about that. But it's kind of all consuming, because it's not just about your child. It's so much more about who you are, I think, and like how you can get better, so you don't, affect this perfect little piece of clay, I think.
Yeah. And all about the life of a touring family. So it's a kind of like a mini Partridge Family. It's
Yeah.
do you have a van, or how do you travel?
Yeah, we've got a Honda Odyssey. We don't have like a camper, although that would be nice. I've thought about it. But the Odysseys, I mean, those are pretty big, those minivans. So
And it's a little more practical. I think a camper is serious maintenance, and it's like you have to have a real serious know-how how to deal with that.
Right.
How to
And
put everything in.
totally. And just the gas, like the gas mileage, it'd be so fun to have one of those, not that you're not usually in the van, it's usually you're just driving to the hotel and the venue, so I think most of the time the camper would just be out in a parking lot anyway. But it would be fun. I mean, someday if they can make, an electric one, or that would be cool.
Yeah, it must be, but it's just what a bunch of great experiences taking the wife and the kid and just going out on the up and around.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I think my little girl Lily, I think she's really thrived with it. She grew up, had that experience for the first year and a half of her life, and she's getting back to it now, and she seems to love it.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you must be very curious, and having those experiences going out and being able to do that is it's got to be wonderful.
Yeah, I think it will be. We always think about what's best for her, and um, but I think like a happy, if we can continue to be a happy family and show her the world, I've never heard I've never heard any adults who go to therapy because their parents stayed together and like showed them the world. So I'm banking on that, like
Therapy, it is. And
yeah.
you kind of do hit on the whole mental behavior facility and in spite of you and that track.
Yeah. Yeah. I had that whole experience kind of growing up, just being a runaway, going to mental hospitals. That's such a funny word too. I mean, like I wasn't, quote unquote mental, but I when I think like at a certain point, I think when a kid gets to be 12 or 13, starts going through puberty, if like they had a rough kind of upbringing,
Yeah.
it's like all of a sudden the kid's like, what happened? And they get, like pissed. I was just pissed. It
Yeah.
took me a while to process that and to figure it out, and so it was good to go away.
Yeah, so it turned out to be a more positive experience, and it got you to see a lot of things that you didn't see at that age.
Yeah, I think like, well, positive in the way that like I adore my parents, adore them. But it's kind of like when I tell them, "Hey, I'm really grateful that you guys, you know, split up, or I'm really grateful that you did this or did that because it made me want to write songs and it made me want to
Hmm.
empathize with other people." It's not like thank you for, you know,
Thank you for sending me a
thank yeah, thank you for traumatizing me. But I mean,
But the end
there,
result, when you step back and these many years
yeah.
later, it's like something decent comes out of that. But at the time, I mean, like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it sucked so bad, and it's the kind of thing where I'd never want my daughter to go through that. I certainly don't want her to have to, you know, do whatever she's going to do in life because of something I put her through.
Yeah.
But there's no anger there with my parents, and um they're wonderful people and they've apologized for anything they've done wrong. I mean, what else can you do? And I've apologized for anything I've done wrong. So um yeah, the all that childhood stuff just feels almost like another someone else's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go through so
Yeah.
many cycles. It's like, wow, even though historically that's not very much time, not many years ago, but in your life,
Right. Oh yeah.
gosh.
It's like a movie. It's like a film. It's just and it's fun to write about though.
Yeah, there it gave you that
Yeah.
feeling. That's the positivity that comes out of that.
Yeah, it's real fun to write about because I did some crazy stuff back then. And yeah, I mean, I ran away from there. I just ran away a lot. So I had a lot of experiences from all of that. And I was a very determined little guy.
Yeah, yeah, we do have our angry years, and adolescence. Wow, it never gets any easier. It's just always
Right. Yeah.
challenges. It's really
Absolutely.
yeah, when
Yeah.
you're raising a kid, and before you know it, they're adolescents, and it's like, oh my god, this went so fast. And
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
remember those days when they're just innocent little kids.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear that. I hear that so much.
Oh, goes so fast. Yeah, like that one
Yeah.
line. The sermons you sold me were all fakes. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of about the lessons in this school, it's kind of behavior modification, right? And I knew I was friends with so many of the kids there. Most of the kids were really good kids. But in my opinion, they needed nurturing because they weren't getting it at home. And I wasn't getting it at home. And a lot of the parents, including my own, were addicts. So they couldn't give what the kids needed.
Oh yeah.
So there were all these kids there that, like myself, that really were looking for something else. And they didn't need to go somewhere that was cold and, be just modified their behavior, in my opinion. you know. So Yeah, so I've never ever been a believer in the school, even though it's like, like, and that song came about because I saw there was like, it was like in the New York Post, there was like a big gala because the guy who wrote Silver Linings Playbook,
Right.
he sent his kid there, and I saw it, and he was raving about the school, and it's this really beautiful campus up in the Berkshires, and my school system paid for it, but I think even back then I think it cost about 100 grand a year. you
Oh,
know
I'm sure.
I mean, my school, I can't believe my school paid for it, but um God knows what it is now, quarter
Oh,
of
sure.
quarter of a million a year or something. And so they were raising all this money for this school that I just knew to be so damaging and so traumatic for kids. So I wrote that song, and well,
Yeah.
I think I wrote something first on Facebook, and one of my friends is a lawyer and said, you probably should take that down because you could get sued for libel. So so I don't mention the name of the school, but I just I'm like, well, I got to write about it then. I got to write a song about it.
Everybody's so
Yeah.
litigious. I mean, you can't like, and I know we're in these formats where the communication just spreads like wildfire.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's
gosh.
there's there's a silver linings line in that song too. I've never told anyone that's code for that. But that's what that is as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So growing up, obviously, you finally you got through Berkeley College of Music. And
Yeah.
how did you meet your wife? It was on a cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went to Berkeley, and like senior year I graduated, and I got offered this publishing deal in Nashville to write songs for a living. So I did that. I went down to Nashville, and I wrote songs for 5 years on Music Row, and then like that Great Recession hit, and the company closed, and I was just having a real rough year, and uh, really struggling financially. So I just got this offer to play play music on a cruise ship, play cover songs, which I never thought I would do, and cruise around the islands of the South Pacific and Australia and New Zealand.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was beautiful. I met my wife there on the second day, and it was just, that was it. I hadn't had that experience before. We got married, like she came over to back to America with me, and I proposed to the Bluebird in Nashville a week after she arrived, and we got married a couple months after that. So it was really quick.
So this is more than 11, 12 years ago now. That's
Yeah, 2010. We met in 2010 and also got married in 2010.
mm,
Um, and yeah, we've been at it ever since. I mean, like the touring started that year too, because I didn't have anything else to do for a living. I didn't have my publishing deal anymore. But I didn't have any fans either. So I really started from nothing. I played house concerts. We played cover gigs where we could. I did anything I could.
sure.
And but it was a great start. It was a real great start.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Yeah. So her role must be very expansive in your touring repertoire. How's that?
Yeah. She does so much. I mean, and of course now she's she's also the primary, caregiver of my daughter, which is why we can continue to do this,
Yeah. And a huge supporter. I mean, yeah, that's how it works in a partnership. If somebody's there with you and just really pushing you, and probably challenges you as well if she's listening to your recordings and getting involved that way too.
Yeah. But she's been so supportive, and from day one, she's just said, we want to be there out with you in the world. Like, and I've always said that too. I've always said, the touring thing without a family, that's not for me. That's after I've experienced what I've experienced, it that would feel like a real lonely existence to me. And I maybe not for someone else, and that's fine.
Yeah, but it works for you. That's how it does. It worked for Paul McCartney. He'll come. I saw him with Linda, and she was even on the stage playing keyboards or whatever, singing.
Yeah.
It was nice that he was with her. So that's
he loved Linda. That's a wonderful love story.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, sometimes with music though, as it's just takes up so much of your life, and you see the very late Beatles, like they just released the Get Back sessions, and seeing that, it's just it takes up so many hours. It's not your 9-to-5 job you bring your wife to. It's
no
all game.
Yeah, it's kind of all encompassing, and you have to kind of give it. There's not really a way to do it as a plan B. And every once in a while, I mean, around December 20th, I'm gonna force myself not to do any work, or do anything, do any emails or interviews or anything. But other than that, I really enjoy it, So yeah.
You'll need your Christmas week. Yeah, you need those every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Press all that fun stuff. So, and you seem to like to do festivals. What is the atmosphere like? How's that different from a lot of your other type of performances?
Yeah, I mean, festival is great because you have the other artists, So there's such a communal thing there, and then you have the other fans, the other artists who might not know you, who you meet. It's just such a great opportunity to meet a lot of people and to hear fellow artists. We don't often get to do that. And if you're only home a short amount of time, you normally don't want to go out when you get home. So it's nice to go to in January playing place like 30A Songwriters Festival, where I can go see Emmylou Harris after my set, or I can go see Mavis Staples, or I mean, the list is incredible. I mean,
that lineup is coming. I've gone down because it's about a 6-hour drive from where I'm at. It's South County in Florida, in the Panhandle.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful in January. I love the off season.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. It really is.
Me too. Yeah.
Beaches are like perfect.
Beaches, pristine, like white sand. And I love I'm with you. We just went to the beach today. Actually, it was so cold in Rhode Island. And so windy, but it was still beautiful, and so different than, it's just mobbed in the summer,
Yeah, I don't go to bake myself and be in crowds.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to get any sun.
Not about the sun for me. I just like the scenery and just like seeing the dunes.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
So 30A Songwriters Festival, but you've been at Bonnaroo. Talk about heat. They
Oh man, that was tough, man. That was, what a great experience. But yeah, playing with a full band in 100-degree heat with like Tennessee humidity. I'll never forget that gig, how hot we all were, and just, and you got to play, especially as a guy, you can't go up on Bonnaroo and play in shorts. You know what I mean? You got to be wearing jeans. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much you can take off. But that was so fun. True
about musicians. Who goes on with shorts? I can't even think of anybody who goes up on the stage.
No, it's a major infraction. You just can't you can't do it as a professional. Like I said, original artist, you just can't do it.
It's really the roadies, right? They come out in their cargo shorts.
Oh, sure. Yeah. The roadies can do whatever they want.
Right. It reminds me of talk about Billy Joel. He has his roadie come out and do an AC/DC song, in many of his shows.
Yes, he did. He
roadie out.
Yeah, he did. He did it. He did that at Bonnaroo. Yeah,
that's right.
He headlined Bonnaroo that year actually, and I do remember that. Yeah.
That guy, I saw him do that 3 times, and it's hysterical every time. It's like, and he so gets into it. It's
yeah, yeah, he's good. He's good. I mean, he pulls it off really well.
He does. At first you think, oh, this is a huge joke, and then you get about 30 seconds into that, I'm like, what is this guy? He's hitting these AC/DC notes.
Seriously, yeah. I like Billy Joel though. I was never the biggest fan, but I do really like him. He's not like a McCartney to me or James Taylor, but I love that he doesn't sell the front rows of his concerts. He lets the people from the back come up. I love that.
Yeah, he tries really hard to keep it real. He's showered with so much attention and has done financially well last couple of years. Sometimes he wasn't doing financially well, but he keeps it real. And that's what I like about him. And I've gotten to know some people in his band. I've had some of them on this podcast, and it's just always fun. I was just up in Boston actually earlier this year in August, and he put on the show at Fenway, which was the first show since COVID.
Oh, wow.
Fun. Yeah. Fenway is gorgeous. I love that area there.
Yeah. I was a Yankees fan, so it was always difficult to go there, but I do love the park, it was pretty intense when I was in Boston. Like, you didn't walk around with I did because I was young and stupid, but it wasn't a good idea to walk around with a Yankees hat, especially if you're out at the bars and stuff. It's not like that anymore, but that back then the Red Sox had never won. So
there was a lot of animosity.
There was so much anger, and so much testosterone and alcohol.
You don't want to get those Bostonians upset. That's true.
No, man, those people are rough, man. Yeah.
Walk around with the Yankees cap. I grew up in Cleveland, and the Yankees weren't very welcome there either. So I totally
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they weren't welcome many places, really.
Really true. Yeah. And you've also played the Philly Folk Fest.
That was great. That was another hot. I remember how hot that was, about 101. But Lyle Lovett played headline that year, and I love him. And that was a great festival. I'd love to get back there. Yeah.
Some good stuff that came out of there too. A lot of the soul stuff, and then even we became big through Philly.
Yeah. Philly's a great town, great and great music fans.
So what do you got planned for the future? You just got to get down to writing. Maybe you'll wait until after Christmas and think about albums.
Well, next year is so busy. Like next year, also my wife had a full-time job that she lost with COVID. It was she used to manage live events like remotely from it was kind of a blessing though, because she really couldn't do it anymore, so she's doing that part-time, so I have to play more, which is fine. I'm playing like crazy, and I think that'll be like I think I'm really happy to focus on that and tour. I'll definitely be writing again, now, like this month. I've started writing already, but it's really good to just get back and just to know that we're going to be okay. Live music will survive, and that, there's not a variant coming that's like, from the mutant from outer space. I think everybody just needs a few months where there's no bad COVID news, and just get back to a place where, there's risks in life, but, reasonable risks. And I think everybody's okay with that. I think for the most part, people understand that, it's not going to be perfect, but we'll be grateful,
It takes a long time to come out of something like this. Even the one that was 100 years ago, that's it. Just slowly can fade out to get to that herd
Right.
immunity. I just think we'll have to do the boosters. I kind of wonder though if we'll do it annually or semi-annually. I'm ready for another booster. So
Yeah. I got mine, man. I got mine last week, and it nailed me last week. I was so sick for a couple days.
so the booster does that. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the nurse is always, I mean, told me with the second shot too. She's like, if you have a good immune system, this is probably going to hit you pretty hard. And I have a really good immune system.
Oh wow.
Like I'm never sick, I mean, so, yeah, man, that booster got me pretty good. But I mean, of course, so grateful for it. And of course, I mean, where would we be? I'll do whatever I have to do to play music and keep people around me safe.
So do you know of a lot of venues that are going to require that for your shows, or just, it just varies probably from city to city, I'm sure.
Like vax or boosters?
Yeah, well, just vaccinations itself, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like a good portion of them right now are doing that. And of course, like I've played mainly in the Northeast since I've kind of started rebooting. So it's pretty widespread. I think people kind of expect that up here. I don't think every single one checks it at the door. Sometimes it's an honor system. I don't really know. And some are still, like, I'm playing a holiday show on Friday, and it's 100% vaxxed, and also they have to wear the mask the entire show, and I have to wear it when I'm off stage. And but I don't care, I mean, whatever. It's not that bad. It would be truly tragic not to be able to perform music and connect with people. But yeah.
Yeah, you need that. Yeah, definitely.
But I try to stay out of it too, because to me, it's just not a political thing for me. It's just, I'll do what the experts tell me to do.
That's who I trust, not fifth-hand information off of social media. That's
yeah.
Well, best wishes on your tour through 2022 and beyond.
Thank you, buddy.
Hope to see you at Eddie's Attic. I'll have to check that out. It's a great venue.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'd love to see you. That'd be great.
Yeah, I've done a lot of video packages. I did for CNN Airport Network. That's I work for Warner Media in my day job, so I
nice
work for them. Yeah, I did some music packages there. I featured AJ Croce, that's Jim Croce's son.
Sure, yeah.
And some other people over there. So yeah, that's Eddie's Attic in downtown Decatur, which is just a little east of Atlanta. It's a great.
Absolutely.
Well, take care and best wishes, and have a very Merry Christmas.
You too, brother.
This new album called Peace, a Christmas collection. I like that cover. Who shot that cover?
My wife did.
It's
nice. Yeah, she's a great photographer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Best wishes. Have a good one.
You too, Bob. All the best to you.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.